I want you to think about this in relation to the recent G7 held in Geneva, the meeting of the 7 supposedly most powerful nations. The incredible thing is that these leaders who think they're more important than they are, at least 4 out of 7 of them are facing a huge defeat at the ballot box this year. In other words, they will become has-beens, they won't be around. Yet these 4 that are very soon going to lose their power have agreed to send another $50 billion for the war in Ukraine. And they say over the next 10 years, 10 years. The $50 billion, by the way, will come from frozen Russian money that's held in the West. Now, that is for sure another thing to rile Russia up further. Apart from giving Ukraine the weapons and permission to fire into Russia, which is another red line as far as Putin is concerned, are these power-hungry politicians not worried about a nuclear war? There are no winners in a nuclear war. People die. The planet dies. Forget about climate change. Everybody's going on about it. We are the climate change activists protesting and crying out against the coming nuclear war if these people don't pull back a bit. Look for a moment at the 4 possible has-beens. This year, Biden in the USA, not only has he sadly personally lost it, we know that, the polls show that he will go. Sunak in the UK, the polls show that he too is facing a massive defeat, as is Macron in France. Likewise, Trudeau in Canada, most unpopular. Remember the truckers? Least we forget. Freezing people's bank accounts. Wow. All these countries, along with Belgium, Austria and Germany and others, are experiencing a massive swing to the right. Now, the media and the liberals like to call it the rise of the far right. This is what they call anyone who's conservative, anyone who's got maybe Christian values or are a Christian. They label the far right. The media call conservatives extremists. Declaring the end of democracy, they say, if they get in, and on it goes. Amazing anyone today with a bit of common sense or just good old plain fashioned morals, let alone anyone who's anti-globalization, all called such names as far right extremists and even, God forbid, white supremacists. With some media using the word Nazis, which obviously is used completely out of context. It's crazy, but I think people are waking up. I think people are starting to push back. People have had enough of all this liberal, progressive, woke theology. Progressiveness, like the word gay, which was once a good word, but the enemy takes it and twists it. You know, C.S. Lewis, and I quote him another quote, but let me just say he mentioned of progressive before the trendy word it was today. He said, we all want progress, but progress means getting nearer to the place where we want to be. Can I just ask you, society, where you want it to be today? Read the front page of the paper. Now, he went on to say that if you've taken a wrong turn, then to go forward does not get you any nearer to where you want to go. If you're on the wrong road, progress means doing an about turn and walking back to the right road. And in the case, the man who turns back the soonest is the most progressive man. Boy, do we need that common sense today, that intelligence today. You know, I was watching Tucker Carlson interviewing the president of El Salvador, and I'll pronounce his name wrong, I'm sorry, but Nayib Bukele. And Tucker asked him, how did he turn what was the most dangerous country in the world around to now what is the most safest country in South America in just a couple of years? Now, the president, Bukele, asked if Tucker wanted the official answer or the unofficial answer. Yes, the official answer, he did imprison over 70,000 gang members, cleaned up the streets, dealt with corruption in the police force, etc. But the unofficial answer was that he got his ministers together, his cabinet together, and they prayed because he recognized that first and foremost, they were in a spiritual battle and El Salvador needed God in the midst of the country. How refreshing is that? Of course, people will call him a dictator. The left and the liberals are woke. The progressives cry out, what about the rights of the gang murderers or members, I should say? But as Bukele says, the rights of the law-abiding citizens of his country are far more important than criminals. And so hopefully the tide is turning on all this woke rubbish. I pray that it's turning in the right way back to God, the maker of us all. I hope that not only in New Zealand, but Australia and the United States and the UK and all the Western nations get back on track, just like C.S. Lewis told us to. We need to go back in order to go forward.